Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at noon.
New at noon, a man is behind bars after an intense standoff in a Crookston motel. Crookston police say they were called to the Golf Terrace Motel for a report of an active domestic situation last night. When they arrived on scene, 60-year-old Joel Fessler was seen going into his room. Officers spoke with the victim and a witness and learned the two knew each other. Police were also told that Fessler has a history of fighting with law enforcement and could be armed and dangerous. Police tried to get him to come out of his room, but he wouldn't. Officers were eventually able to get into the room using the back door. The report says commands were given to Fessler to get on the floor. He refused, and then it looked like he wanted a fight. Officers fired 2 pepper ball rounds, but that didn't stop him. Police say a taser also had to be used to get him under arrest. Fessler was then taken to jail, where he is being held for charges of domestic assault, damage to property, and obstructing the legal process. We have new information on the people police are looking for in connection to that riot in downtown Fargo. An official warrant has now been issued for a man facing multiple charges. 23-year-old Caliph McLean is wanted for arming rioters, criminal mischief, and attempt to commit simple assault. Police say surveillance video shows McLean throwing rocks at police, breaking into JL Beers, and also trying to break into a cash register. He's also facing multiple misdemeanor charges. A mugshot for him was not available at this time. Also new at noon, a North Dakota man is fighting for his life after he was thrown from his vehicle when it rolled. The crash happened this morning along I-94 near Valley City. Authorities say the 34-year-old man from Bismarck took the exit off the interstate only to get right back on the interstate. That's when his SUV went into the median and rolled. The driver was then thrown from the vehicle. The man was taken to a Fargo hospital with serious injuries. No other information is available. Taking that live look outside on this Thursday afternoon at the Dakota Magic Sky Cam in Hankinson. The flags are slowly whipping in the wind there, but it doesn't look too bad. For what we can expect for the rest of our day, let's head on over to First Alert Storm Team meteorologist Nathan Hopper.
Yeah, Jordan, not too bad of a breeze out there at this hour, but those flags are flying a bit more than they were when we talked about 5 o'clock this morning. And this is what we're expecting, those winds on the increase as we go into the dinner time hour. But notice still plenty of sunshine on our Dakota Magic Casino Sky Cam. Current winds we're seeing out of the northwest about 10 to 15 miles per hour across the board, with Cooperstown, one of the windier spots, in Langdon, also one of the windier spots northwest at 21 miles per hour in Langdon. So a little breezy out there, and that'll be a headwind if you are trying to travel from Fargo up north, or kind of a crosswind if you're going from Fargo to points west. But looking up to the north, right on time, the moisture we've been watching is moving into our northern neighborhoods along with a weak cold front, and that will continue to bring that moisture into our northern Minnesota neighborhoods as we go through this evening, and bring the possibility of some thunderstorms to northern Minnesota as well. Temperatures have warmed nicely here by the lunch hour. We're seeing those low 70s across the board, with still a 58 in Badette, so still some cooler air in our northern Minnesota neighborhood. 61 right now in Roseau. But as we continue through this evening, I do expect us to warm a little bit more here for this evening, warming us up into the low to mid 70s here in Fargo. Northwest winds, I should say, still a little bit busy, around 15 miles per hour. And then in Grand Forks, also staying pretty mild. We're seeing those low to mid 70s in Grand Forks as well, perhaps cooling a little bit by now, but between now and the 8 o'clock hour as that cold front pushes through our northern neighborhoods. But of course, Jordan and I will talk about that potential of those thunderstorms this evening and look ahead to the weekend coming up in a couple minutes.
All right. Thank you, Nathan. A major COVID-19 testing event is happening right now at the Fargo Dome. The testing will go until 6 o'clock this evening. The tests are free and insurance will not be processed. Appointments are not required, but it is strongly encouraged to complete the online screening questionnaire in advance. If you test positive, you will be notified by phone within 72 hours. A link to that questionnaire can be found by clicking on this story on the VNL News app. There will be testing again tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We have new information on COVID-19 in North Dakota. One more person has died with the disease in the state. She was a woman in her 70s with underlying health conditions. That brings the death toll to 74. 39 more people have tested positive, bringing active cases to 391. 2,515 people are listed as recovered. The state of Minnesota is reporting another 13 deaths from the virus, bringing the death toll to 1,249. Of those deaths, 994 happened in a nursing home or long-term care facility. 453 new cases are reported, bringing the active case count to 3,197. 24,870 people are listed as recovered. A drug that may treat and prevent COVID-19 is now being tested in humans. The announcement comes from Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, which is conducting the clinical trial. The drug, which is a combination of two antibodies, is being tested with patients, or with coronavirus rather, as well as healthy people at a high risk for getting sick. If successful, the company hopes the therapy could be available by the fall. Scientists will also evaluate the safety of the drug. One woman is dead after a grain bin accident in Stutzman County, North Dakota. Authorities say co-workers lost sight of the woman last night as they were working on a bin of sunflower seeds near Pingree. Rescuers cut a number of holes in the structure before finding her body. The sheriff's office is not yet releasing her name publicly, but they do say the victim is a 56-year-old woman from Montpelier, North Dakota. The White House has yet to announce a single policing reform that it supports, but it does say that President Donald Trump is considering ideas. Members of his administration have said they do not see systemic racism in policing.
We've done a lot for the black community, and we've done a lot for all communities.
Surrounded by black radio hosts and supporters Wednesday, President Trump touted his administration's record.
When you look at the economics, when you look at how well the black community has been doing under this administration, nobody's done anything like we've done.
But even one of his own supporters, conservative activist Sonny Johnson, pushed back on the president's characterization.
I am probably the most Trumpish out of everybody in this room, so you're gonna have to forgive me. The black community is not doing okay. Like, I understand the perspective and the desire to put out this talking point, but it's not, okay?
The president did not respond to that.
Thank you, Sonny. Appreciate it.
And he and his administration continue to oppose allegations of systemic racism in law enforcement.
Our community is scared to call the cops, and that's dangerous.
Don't shoot!
Despite nationwide protests calling for police reform, the president has yet to say what, if anything, he would like to see done to address the issue of police brutality. And even with Army leaders saying they are willing to discuss renaming 10 U.S. military bases named after Confederate generals, including Fort Hood in Texas and Fort Bragg in North Carolina, President Trump says he won't even consider it. Retired Major General Dana Petard told CBS News the names always seemed insulting to him.
These 10 generals fought against the United States Army, killed U.S. troops.
Meanwhile, President Donald Trump plans to resume his campaign rallies next Friday in Oklahoma. They have been on hold during the COVID pandemic. It's unclear how the campaign plans to hold these rallies safely. Coming up here at noon, as more Americans get back to work, more children are going back to daycare. We take a look at how daycare facilities are working to keep children safe. But next, Nathan Hopper is in with everything you need to know for your Thursday forecast.